when faced with your life challenges. Have you ever wondered why it is that two people can face the same circumstances in life and one of them stay focused and overcome their adversity while the other person's life will descend into chaos and negativity? This same scenario occurs when two people are trying to make lifestyle and diet changes. While one person will stick to their weight and health goals, another at the first hurdle will give up and state that it was too hard or life got in the way. What is the difference between these two people? The difference is simply how they perceive their circumstances. We create meaning and act accordingly to how we perceive the world around us. We do not see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. Do you stay positive in face of your life challenges, or are your first thoughts, why me? If you stay positive, you can overcome and grow through your life challenges and stick to your weight and health goals. If you are, on the other hand, the type of person that says, why me, and feels the world is against you, more often than not, you may give up at the slightest setback. The great thing is, people can alter their lives by altering their attitude of mind. What do you do to improve and strengthen your mind?
Good evening. Well, not even good evening. I'm saying good evening because the show used to be on in the evening. I can't get out of the habit of saying good evening. Good afternoon. Good afternoon on this wonderful Saturday. And happy Valentine's Day. Today is a day about love and care. So I'm going to try and show you some love by showing you some real value. And so is my guest. And I really hope you're having a lovely day, whatever you're doing. You know, if no one else is showing you love, show yourself some love, because that's what Valentine's is about. It's all about that self-care as well. So show yourself some love. All right. Listen, welcome to the Make Health Your Habit podcast, the live show. We're here every single Sunday, 2 p.m. GMT and 9 a.m. EST. So the program and the podcast is simply about making health your habit. My name is Ken Barnes. I am, how would you describe me? How would I describe myself? So I'm a mindset, stress resilient and health coach. My main focus is on a low carb diet, sugar reduction, and it's about helping people to lose weight and reverse pre-diabetes and control their blood sugar. Normally we have a few people tuning in. So if you're tuning in on YouTube, if you're tuning in on LinkedIn, if you're tuning in on Twitter, just say hello in the chat. Let me see where you're and you say hello. If you're doing something nice today on Valentine's Day, let me know. So just use the chat feature. We can see when you come in, and we will engage and just say hello to a few people. Because last week we were fortunate last week. We had people from Canada, we had people from Jamaica, we had people from the Caribbean, other places in the Caribbean. We had a real diverse audience last week, so I don't know who's going to be with us today. But if you want to say hello, just use the chat in the YouTube link, Facebook, or even on LinkedIn. Say hello as we go through. Good morning, Isaiah. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Isaiah is Dr. Isaiah, to say he has a wonderful book. Great supporter. So he's from the USA. And good morning, Wanda. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Wanda. Too. Wanda is also from USA. Wanda is as I'm lucky to say, she's one of my clients, and she's great. She's absolutely superb. Really, she's doing so well. Really so well on the program. And she's calling from Brooklyn in USA. And then we also have Marcia Linda. Hello, Marcia. Welcome. Marcia was also one of my clients on one of my programs as well. So good to see you as well, Marcia. I know plant-based. Today is about plant-based, and it's not all about eating grass. Just in case you are wondering that, we're going to be talking a little about herbs. My guest today I met on a platform called Clubhouse. I don't know if you know about Clubhouse, but if you don't know about Clubhouse, you need to get on that place. It is an absolute superb place to network with people. And if you do go on Clubhouse, please look myself up and our guest today. So Xavier, good morning from Michigan. Wow, look at that. We got some international guests on the show today. I love it. Good morning. I don't know I wonder if it's snowing in Michigan at the moment. It's not snowing here. It was last week. But yeah, so we got some international guests coming in. It's really wonderful. So if you're online, just say hello. And again, happy Valentine's. And yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to be on this show. It's really, really a pleasure because listen, we're in perilous times and there are so many things you could do. But the best thing I believe you could do is make health your habit. So Xavier said it's snowing. I'm so sorry about that. I'm looking at the window here in London, and the snow's come here in London, but it's kind of left quite quickly. Good afternoon, Carmen. Happy Valentine's to you. Health is wealth. I totally agree with you, Carmen. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much for tuning into the show, Carmen. I just love it. I just absolutely love it when you engage, and also you're showing me some love. And what better day to show me some love than on Valentine's Day? So if that is the end of the lows, I'll wait for a couple more minutes. But just remember, if you're on YouTube or on Facebook, you can have a conversation between yourselves. And if you do have a question, we will be answering some questions right to the end. But if you have if there's a real big burning point that comes up and you feel you need that point, then please put that question in the chat box and we'll interrupt the flow and we'll try and get your plant-based and herbal questions answered. I am so excited. I really, really, really am. I am really, really looking forward to this podcast. Joanne. I know Joanne. Hello, Joanne. Listening in from Barbados. Wow. I'm sure it won't be snowing there in Barbados. So, Joanne, it's a pleasure to have you on board. I've known Joanne for a number of years. Hopefully it's the same Joanne. I'm sure it is. I've known her for a number of years. So thank you very much for taking the time to tune in. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is about plant-based diet. And if you want to learn more about how you can eat plants good after, I can't go without saying good afternoon to DJ Mr. P, my actual mentor, and I will pay him credit for that. He's guided me so much when it comes to these podcasts here. He has been an invaluable resource to me. So Mr. P, publicly, thank you very, very much for your input into my growth and development on this platform. So listen, if you want to learn how to eat a plant-based diet, if you want to know what the difference is between a vegan diet, if you want to know how plant-based diet can heal your life, well, today on the Make Health Your Habit podcast show, you will get those answers. Yes, I am back. The Make Health Your Habit podcast show. We've got a fantastic guest with us today. And as I said, I met her on the app Clubhouse. For those of you who don't know, it's an audio app. And it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And you know, when you meet people in person, it's one thing. But on social media, there is so much, I can say, falseness. And I think on any social media platform, there can be that. But the thing about audio is that you can hear someone's voice, and in that you can hear their authenticity and their genuine willingness to want to serve. And I can honestly say that this is what I've experienced from hearing Annika talk, and this is why I wanted to bring her in front of you today. It's a slightly different protocol from my nutritional protocol, but today this program is all about health, and I really feel Annika has a genuine desire to serve and help, and she has a wealth of information when it comes to a plant-based diet. So it's with my pleasure that I welcome Annika to the Make Health Your Habit podcast show. Good afternoon, Annika.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever the case may be. We do have some international guests. My brother is out there and
Okay.
some friends and family
Hi,
members.
brother. Hi, brother.
Warmest greetings, all. Warmest greetings.
Great. And I know you're in London, so you're in the same climate and same time as me. Again,
Yes,
let me.
it's cool.
Cool. Yes, that's right. Cool. Listen, man,
It's
I love that.
cool.
I love that. Listen, I said it was a pleasure to meet you. Um, it's a pleasure to meet you on Clubhouse, and thank you very much for agreeing to come on the show to share your experience. Because in this time, and this especially in this pandemic time, I think taking care of your health is one of the most important things you could do. And there are so many different nutrition protocols that can help, and a lot of people, they are moving away from eating meat, and fair enough, that's absolutely their prerogative. In fact, I've dealt with a client on my program who was doing a keto vegetarian program, so that's absolutely great. So this show is absolutely quite timely for some people, and for various reasons. They may have a food intolerance, or they may just ethically just don't want to eat meat. So it's great to have you on the show. Just give us a little bit of backstory, please, Annika. Just tell us just a very little bit about yourself and how you started this plant-based journey.
Right. Thank you again for having me, Ken. And it was really nice to meet you just a week ago when we just really clicked and connected. Yes, so I started my journey from childhood. Really, I was always a picky eater. I never really liked eating meat. Often was given out. I grew up in Jamaica. Often was eating rice and butter because I didn't want the meat. But when I became 16, when I turned 16, a friend of mine and I decided we're going to go vegetarian, or what you call pescatarian. And it started from there, me experimenting with food and different types of diets. In between that, I did go, but I was a really unhealthy vegetarian, not understanding um, what a balanced plate looked like. So I was having lots of carbs and no protein, and didn't know what had protein, what had iron, So I was quite unhealthy. And don't get it wrong, you can be a unhealthy plant-based or vegan person as well. So I finally went completely plant-based. I would say about 3 years ago. Prior to that, I was pescatarian for many years, gluten-free and dairy-free, and I've settled on a plant-based diet because that's what I find is best for my system and compatible with my needs, and has benefited me in positive ways. So that's how my journey started and where I'm at now. In that time, I was in culinary school about, I think, maybe 6 years ago now. And, that's when we're doing lots of international cuisine, lots of cream, lots of quite unhealthy stuff, but really tasty stuff. And someone invited me to do a juice fast with them, 1 week juice fast. And when I did that juice fast, that's when it really hit me. After 1 week, my skin was glowing, my hair was shinier. I was having some healing reactions, which I understood as just my body kind of pushing out toxins. And that's when I said, wait a minute, it just dawned on me that plants plants heal. My cells are just rejuvenated and just coming out quite nicely. And I decided, that's when I decided to kind of completely cut out dairy and gluten, because I knew I had a gluten intolerance. I knew I had a lactose intolerance, but like most people, you ignore it and say, oh, I do get bloated, or I do get a bit of cramp, but I'll get over it by tomorrow in only a few hours. But I decided to listen to my body and my system. And that's when I started kind of going more into my plant-based, and eventually in 3 years ago, completely into my plant-based lifestyle.
So you spoke about healing, and it's lovely to hear that plants can heal, and yeah, that is nature. Could you just, if you could share with us a part of you, an aspect to your life that plants really, really benefited?
Well, for one, I was suffering with lots of hair loss from my third child was born. It started out as just thinking it's just postnatal hair loss, but it didn't stop. And I had quite thick, quite long hair, and it was just shedding and shedding and shedding. And I also had really bad eczema, quite dry skin. And I found that when I did switch around my diet, my hair stopped shedding as much because I do have what you call hereditary hair loss, which is not curable, but I don't have bald patch, which I should have. I don't have that. My hair can just stimulate and grow. And my skin, I didn't have the eczema breakouts and inflammations that I had before. So that's how it helped me personally. I think, especially around the dairy, that really helped with my skin. Those are two major factors I saw. And I started, sleeping better. I didn't have the real dark circles under my eye, which is quite something I always had. So overall, I just, on the outside, I was glowing and I felt good on the inside. I wasn't as bloated as I was before. Like, for instance, when I did the 1 week fast, I I must have lost 11 pounds. And I thought, that's crazy, 11 pounds. And, I'm drinking these juices and the broths and all the teas, just really natural things, no caffeine, no sugars. And I said, oh my gosh, it was just bloatedness and water retention. So I realized I was kind of holding up on to a lot of things I didn't need to hold on to because of the type of things I was eating.
Yeah, that's a great. I mean, very similar to my journey.
Mm-hmm.
You do something, and it helps you, and you think, well, I just want to share this with the world. So I think that's absolutely a great story. So you've been doing this now for 3 years, you said?
So the plant-based has been 3 years. Pescatarian, vegetarian, dairy and gluten free. Probably 7 years before that, but from I was 16 on and off. But I was doing it properly about 7 years ago. In between that time, I read a book called Eat for Your Blood Type, and that was always in the back of my mind that my blood type was a natural plant-based, like, or vegetarian. And I remember reading it a long time before I was even interested in being plant-based. And that came back to me when I finished culinary school. I did a year of biomedicine, and we had the sessions on the blood types. And I was like, oh my gosh, this makes sense now. And that's when I started transitioning a bit more into completely getting rid of any meat proteins in my diet.
So you spoke about how it's benefited you. Just give us a holistic picture how the benefits that someone can derive from going plant based. So even
Well, if
outside what because obviously you understand the wealth of benefits that someone can gain. Just share with us, please.
Well, I know that and that's the key, a wholesome plant-based diet can help to with type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. And so those kind of things, you can help to control your blood levels better. I mean, with most diets, if you're doing a wholesome plant-based diet, you'll find that you can avoid some of these diseases. So those are the two of the main things that I know for sure with a plant-based diet that you can, and obesity. You prevent obesity if you're balancing your diet correctly. And I'm sure that's something that you also
Yeah,
work on a lot. I know you work on
absolutely.
diabetes, even though you eat uh, a carnivore diet. But as we talked about this previously, no, I'm not. Where the because fire? No, but yeah, I know that you talk a lot about there's preventative measures
Yeah,
through nature to help with these things. It could be through juicing with
yeah.
not juicing, um, more vegetable smoothies and juices rather than lots of fruits, and that you can help to cancel out things like type 2 diabetes. Yes.
Yeah. So on a plant-based diet, obviously, because I understand that meat has number of nutrients inside it. Can you get every nutrient you need on a plant-based diet? And if you can't, what have you got to do to supplement it?
Okay, so you can get it. You I know a lot of the the questions will be about B12. How do you get your B12? You can get it through the spirulinas, the chlorellas. You have to really take supplements. I would say you have to, where some people don't. I take multi vitamin. I don't take lots of vitamins anymore like I used to. I used to take the B complex, magnesium. I have it all in one now that I take because I do have a quite a wholesome plant-based diet where I have lots of beans, oats, all those legumes, and then whole foods that does have quite dense in their nutrients. But yeah, you can get everything through plant-based, and there's fortified plant-based milks, things like nutritional yeast that does have the B12, fortified B12. So you can get it in a plant-based diet, but you have to be quite mindful and really look at what you're eating to make sure you're balancing it. As I said, when I was 16, just a teenager saying, I don't like meat, I'm not going to eat it anymore. I was quite unwell because I wasn't balancing my diet. I wasn't eating things I thought I could just get away with eating rice every day. Because, you're in a family. I'm a high school student. I wasn't working. I couldn't buy my own food. So I was like, oh, let me just have the rice with a couple of carrots, and if I wasn't getting the things I needed. So I learned from them that it's really important to balance and know what nutrients you're putting into your system with each meal that you take in.
So okay, so I think just so clear, anyone's watching, B12 is a supplement that you really find in meat, and as a vegan or a plant day, it's invariably a little bit harder to come by your diet. And you're saying you can come
You
by your
can get
diet,
it.
but
Yeah.
then you're saying in other instances it would be better to take some supplementation. Is that correct? Or
Yeah, if you know you're not eating that balanced diet, you should have a supplement. I mean, I generally eat a balanced diet, but I still have a general multivitamin that I take, where it has all of these things that I need per day. Because you'll have days where you maybe not eating enough of one thing. Just make sure you top
yeah,
it up. And I would always recommend. And I remember I was taking I think I used to take vitamin C, uh, B complex, magnesium citrate, and another two. I can't remember. It was five in total I take every day with when I just started my plant-based journey. And I had a conversation with a vegan doctor, and he was saying, you know what, you don't need to overdo it. If you're having a balanced plant-based lifestyle, just have a basic multivitamin just to boost or top up on what you're eating. It's quite important to have a general multivitamin in your diet. But I know some people take more than, they take the vitamin D and things like that. I've never been deficient. It doesn't run in my family, so I don't take. It's in my multivitamin. It's enough for me. So those who know that they have deficiencies in certain areas, even with or without plant based, should supplement that with vitamins.
you mentioned something that I talk about often, and you mentioned magnesium. And yeah,
Mhm.
I kind of agree with you that sometimes people overdo themselves with supplements. But just
Mhm.
on a note with magnesium, either plant based or carnivore or whatever, so many people are magnesium deficient. They have a meat
Mhm.
magnesium deficiency, and a lot of people don't
Yes.
realize they feel tired, they get muscle
Mhm.
cramps, and that's what magnesium helps with. So you did mention magnesium citrate. From my perspective, you have
Mhm.
magnesium citrate, magnesium oxide, and
Yes.
magnesium glycinate. I always
Mhm.
recommend magnesium glycinate simply because the citrate and oxalate have a little bit of an irritation effect on your stomach and can cause you a little bit of loose stool. So, but
Yeah.
magnesium is a topic I love to talk. And also, if you have trouble sleeping,
Yes.
magnesium is great
Relaxing the
to
pain.
take
Yes.
at night time. Not just for night,
Yes.
take it at night time. It's absolutely
Mhm.
great. It can help you sleep. So listen, we've spoken about the plant-based diet and how it's helped you and
Mhm.
the benefits of a plant-based diet. But if I'm new to it, I'm going to think, well, plants. What do I eat? What am I going to eat? Am I going to eat
Oh,
grass? Am I going
some
to eat
good
leaves? Do I have to
stuff.
crush it up? So let's just talk it. I mean, we have people who have those questions. What do I actually eat on a plant-based diet? So the question is this: we are just going to take a look at some of your foods you eat on your diet. So please just share with us, Annika, what this is, please.
So this was a slice of spelt and rice sourdough toasted with some mashed avocado, put a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and little
Love avocado. Love it.
yeah, sea salt and pepper, and I put that on top, and then I put some sprouted mung beans, which are my favorite beans to sprout. They taste so good and they're really quick to sprout. And then there's some crispy shallots on top, and then I think I might put some chili peppers, and that's a really quick, um, um, which what do you call it? I think I had this for brunch, but I have it for breakfast sometimes, and a nice healthy fats as well.
How long would that take to make something like that?
All my like five, like it takes what 2 minutes in the toaster for the toast while the toast is toasted, mashed avocado. I would say overall 5 minutes max.
And it looks quite filling as well. It looks like
It is
it would
filling because
definitely fill you up.
that's a half of. I mean, it doesn't look that big, but it's a half of those homemade sourdoughs. It's a quite a big slice,
Okay.
and it is quite filling. I'll have that with some chlorella with sea moss tea. Um, I mean, at the moment, I do intermittent fasting, so this will
Great.
be something I'll have right after I break my fast with some chlorella tea with sea moss, and then
Okay.
I'll
Great.
half hour later I'll have something like this.
So just for the benefits of people who are watching, what is sourdough? What is sourdough bread?
It's a lacto fermented.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure.
No,
Just a
that's me.
moment. I think something just popped up.
All
Can you
right.
hear me properly,
Yeah,
guys?
yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah, what is
God.
sourdough bread?
Yes, sourdough is a lacto fermented bread where it's a natural yeast. It takes about 7 days to make the mother or the sponge that you call the sponge by fermenting any type of flour. You can use even gluten-free flour. I know you're gluten-free, Ken. You can even use gluten-free
Yeah,
without
gluten
using it
free.
for yeah, 7 days. It gets to a very sour smell and quite a sour taste. But that sourness is what you call lacto fermentation. It's got that lactic acid going on in
Yeah.
there. Keep that good bacteria and get rid of the bad bacteria. And you can do the same thing with like yogurt is fermented, for instance. Um, so that bread after that the fermentation process is done, you can then use that sponge or that yeast to put inside of a regular bread recipe to make sourdough bread.
Okay,
It's
great.
quite
You know,
satisfying. Something you can
it,
make every day.
it looks it, and I mean, I could talk about gluten for ages, and you know, it is a killer. I mean, there are so many studies that are showing people who are not even celiac, which is the worst part of being gluten intolerant, or just gluten intolerant. People on Alzheimer's, people with dementia, they take them off gluten, and they all
Mm,
of a sudden their cognitive abilities improve. So whether you're gluten intolerant or not, I think gluten is a terrible thing to not eat. And the benefits of being on a low carb diet is that we're also gluten free.
yeah, and well, the thing is with fermented bread, it breaks down the gluten, so it's easier to digest. But I know you're completely gluten free,
Yeah,
and you can
absolutely.
do if you're on that diet, especially celiacs, of course. You can do a gluten free sourdough, which comes
Yeah,
out beautiful as well.
great. That looks absolutely delicious. So
Yeah.
here we have now. I mean, I love the colors
What
in
was this
this,
one?
and it looks like is it a soup or porridge, or it must be, it can't be a porridge, not with green inside it. Yeah. I know you make
Who
so many
said you can't
dishes.
put green in the pie?
Yeah.
But
What?
this one is really quick. It's a sweet potato and coconut soup, and then at the end I just threw in a bunch of organic
I
spinach
can do. I
leaves.
can. I can take that one. That one, sweet potato. I can
You can
manage
do
that one.
that. You can do
Yeah,
that
I
one.
can
Yeah,
do
it's really
that
good.
one.
I mean, this will take you. I mean, what did I do? I think I steamed the potatoes. And if you have something like a pressure cooker or instant pot or what's the other one, and then you can have the King Pro Cook where you have a steamer option. About 9 minutes. 9 minutes you steam those sweet potatoes. Take steam with the skin on to keep some of the minerals on.
Hmm.
Put everything in the blender with the coconut milk and any stock of choice, and then blitz that baby up with a little bit of seasoning. You're good to go. That's a
And you're
quick,
nice.
really really nice.
As I say,
Yeah,
you're nice with that. That looks really nice. I love the colors.
really
When it comes
nice.
to food,
Nice
I
up, good up,
really,
good up.
yeah, I love colors. I love the colors, green, the red. That looks absolutely really, really nice. So
It's
let's see the
really
next
nice.
dish now. This dish here. I mean, this just
What did I
looks
do with
mouth
this?
watering.
Okay. So this is a brown rice noodles or pasta. Yeah, brown rice
Hmm.
pasta with just I did a mixture. These are all quick meals that I gave you, I think.
Hmm.
And this one is just a sauteed mixture of frozen and fresh veg. So it's when I want to use up the vegetables in the house, or if it's a Friday. I think this might have been a Friday evening meal, and I just literally just threw that all together with just soaking the rice noodles, which are you don't need to really cook, and throw that in with a bit of liquid aminos and some other seasonings, and then add some. I always have dried onion or scallops on top with
Okay.
some sesame seeds.
So
So yummy.
is that what I can see on top? The seeds, is that the black seeds? Is that
So those are yeah. Those are sesame seeds, black sesame seeds. They just look
lovely?
really pretty. You can get white sesame seeds, the brown ones, the black ones, but I think the black ones just look quite
No,
pretty with
it
those kind of
adds.
things.
It really adds. It looks like kind of thing you get in a restaurant. So how long would something like this take to make from start to finish?
That will take about 15 minutes,
Oh,
about
really?
15 minutes
Okay.
max. So I keep my vegetables quite crunchy, which you should do to retain as much nutrients as you can. So, like for instance, when I was telling you about the soup, I didn't cook the the spinach in the soup, what I always do is at the end of anything I'm doing spinach with, I turn the burner off. I throw the fresh spinach in, turn it in, and it withers to just naturally, and it retains as much of the iron and nutrients that you want to keep in. And it's the same I do with the vegetables.
Okay,
I just
great.
I always cook the onions first and saute really lightly.
So before we move on, I've got one more to show the audience and the viewers. Um, when you, because obviously you was a pescatarian before, so you used to eat
Yeah.
fish. When you kind of changed your diet to become plant-based, did you increase your portion size? Did you feel you
No,
had to eat a little bit more? Or was your portion size is still the same?
no, I didn't increase my. I had a good understanding on portion size because I used to run some workshops on portion sizes for meat. Like the palm of the hand should be your protein, the length of your hand should be your seafood. So I had a good understanding of the portion size. So no, I didn't change it. I wasn't hungrier because as you can see, I mean, I have carbs that does fill you up. So no, I didn't increase my portion size. I just made sure I was having enough of that particular protein to get my protein in for that 33 gram of protein, whatever it is for the day.
Okay, great.
But you're having that throughout the day and then dividing it into three, aren't you? So it does.
Yeah.
You do generally. I will because I do have quite a balanced 3 meals a day.
Okay, great. Before I show you, I have another question before we go back to the last um,
Hmm.
meal. What are the most common challenges that people who start a plant-based diet, in your experience, what are the most common challenges they have?
The challenges come around perception, and there's a perception that plant-based or healthy foods are expensive, and there's a intimidation around looking at certain foods that, like the ones I just showed you, they're very, very simple, and thinking that they're difficult to make. So it's just really getting that knowledge and education around where to get good quality food. So I always promote people. I tell people to try to start out with seasonal foods because depending on where you live, those are the foods that your body needs anyway. Just go with nature. And we're lucky in London, we have loads of farmers markets. I always love buying from the farmers markets because it's less pesticides if you can't buy organic. And I always tell people, check out if there's a certain vegetable that you find, go on YouTube. What can I do with this? Go Google it. See what can I use to do with this. So I think that's the main challenge is not thinking. You don't know what to cook. You don't know how to cook healthy, and it's very expensive. Those are the two challenges people generally have when they decide to just switch over. And often you find that they'll buy lots of processed food, and that's no good. That's obvious, as you know, that's no good for you. That's not a balanced diet. Those are like blank energy, give you blank energy, and it's not nothing that's going to benefit you in the plant-based diet. So you really need to find out what wholesome foods are available seasonally, and that's where you go.
Great, great. So here we have one more. This dish here, I was trying to work. It looks like ackee to me. Is it ackee?
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is oh, what did I do? This is ackee with banana blossom. So instead of doing ackee so I'm from the Caribbean, Jamaica, and the national dish is ackee and saltfish, which is codfish or bacalhau if you're from the South America. But it's ackee and a banana blossom. And what I do is I put seaweed in it. You get that kind of fishy flavor from you've got the texture from the banana blossom, and you get the flavor from the seaweed and something called ferrikaki, which is a mixture of mixed colored sesame seeds and seaweed, which gives a really sea fishy taste to the dish. So that's what this is. Aki with no saltfish, they call it. Aki no saltfish.
Yeah. So you said it was ackee and something else. I just.
Banana blossom. So
Yeah. What is banana
if
blossom?
so if you see a banana tree, there's always a purple pod, a beautiful purple pod hanging at the end of the banana. That pod itself is inside of it is the banana blossom, and that's edible. That's what you do. You shell it off, and when you shell it off, if you usually do like proper codfish, not the regular the salted fish that's stringy, the codfish, it flakes off just like the codfish does. So it's almost like a mock fish, and it's got a slightly fishy taste.
Okay.
So you can do
Lovely.
a lot with it. You can deep fry it. You can do lots with it, but I put it in ackee. I haven't tried to deep fry it as
I
yet.
love ackee. I mean, I did vegan for a little while, and I
Yeah.
have this vegan. I have this actual video recipe of a vegan ackee dish. Because
Yes.
actually the lifestyle I tried before I went look, I was vegan, so I like ackee, but I like it with saltfish as well.
Oh,
I can't bear it. Okay.
no comment.
Okay. All right. So listen.
What works for you, man? What doesn't work for
Okay.
you?
So listen. Look. You've converted me. I love what you're saying. I want to start a plant-based life.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the challenge is always going to be changing your style of cooking. What advice would you give to someone in some possibly easy preparation dishes for them to kind of start their plant-based journey?
Easy beans. Beans are some of the easiest things to do and manipulate with flavors and spices. I would always say always soak your beans overnight. If pressure cooker comes in really handy in a plant-based diet. A pressure cooker or instant pot comes in really handy. Those are easy to prepare in bulk and quite affordable. Um, Grains, definitely. I like the quinoa. I like the bulgur wheat. Um, Not bulk, yeah, buckwheat, um, farro, things like that. So you just look at the different types of grains to add to your dishes. It could be wild rice and brown rice. So beans are probably one of the cheapest and nutritionally dense meals that you can get from a plant-based diet. And then you have mushrooms. You have your B vitamins. Mushrooms are easily available all year round and affordable. Mushrooms take about, I mean, 5 minutes or so to saute. My favorites are like oyster mushrooms, king oyster mushrooms as well. You slice those up. You can kind of have that nice. It's all about texture and flavors, isn't it? When you just go into a plant-based diet, there's things that you will miss because you've had a lifetime of your palate kind of recognizing what you enjoy. So it's all about the texture and the flavor. You can get those a lot of that from mushrooms, things like jackfruit. You can do that. You can mash that up and curry it into like a curry no beef. You can do and put some butter beans into that, have a nice stew. And all those dishes don't take long. The only thing that may take a bit of time without a pressure cooker or a beans, it'll take about 45 minutes to boil down beans to a nice texture to then season it up. But with like a pressure cooker or so, 10 to 15 max, with an instant pot like 7-8 minutes top. So I would always say to people, that's a good investment to have like a pressure cooker in your home. You can get a cheap one. And you can incorporate all those spices to the flavors that you like, and you get the textures from things like, as I said, the mushroom and jackfruit, even and breadfruit as well.
So is there? So you're onto a point I was going to ask you. So a pressure
Mm-hmm.
cooker and is instant pot. Is that
Either instant, they call those all-in-one pots. So I have an instant pot. They have another
okay?
one here called King Cook Pro. So those kind of pots do like 12-in-1, 9-in-1
Okay.
function steams, and
Okay.
those things. When I come home sometimes tired, it's a quick way to kind of get some quick food out. You
Do you use an air fryer? Cause that's my new tool. That is my new tool,
know
the
what?
air fryer. Oh, come
I
on,
had
tell
it.
me you use an air fryer, cause
I did.
I'm
I
falling in
had
love with my air fryer.
it. Do you know what? I had it and I didn't fall in love with it. But
Oh,
there's a new one out. My friend's testing it. He's gonna let me know what it's like because I was like, oh, I guess I didn't experiment much with it. But I actually just sold it on eBay. I
oh,
kept it for like a
come on,
week.
oh, come on. It's my new best friend. I mean,
So you need to show me the stuff that you're making I
uh,
because I like sweet potato chips and I was just like, oh, they flopped, and I was like, I can do this better in the oven. I felt like it was a
what?
waste of my.
Are you showing off saying your sweet potato chips are crispy now? Because you know that's a tough one to
Yeah,
call.
yes,
Are you
yes.
sure
You
you're
know what
not
you
showing
do?
up? Yeah,
Get yourself
really?
a Ziploc bag, yeah,
Say again.
with
Go on.
some.
Go on. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Go on. Okay.
So you get obviously everything is there. They're all dry. You
Yeah.
cut dry them after you slice
Okay.
them up, and then you in a bag you put a little bit of cornstarch and a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of salt, and you kind of shake that up, and that coats it. Then when you put it on the baking tray or a baking mat, you just drizzle a little bit of olive oil, regular olive oil on it, or coconut oil. You put that in the oven,
Okay.
about 20 minutes. Turn them again, 20 minutes. You get some crispy chips.
Okay. Okay. It might be the cornstarch because I don't use cornstarch.
Okay, what about
It
arrowroot? Would you use
arrowroot.
arrowroot
Yeah. Or
or
no. But
tapioca starch?
I may try some oat fiber. I may try it with oat fiber. I can use oat fiber. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I am seeking a crispy sweet potato fries, and my children would
yeah.
love that as well because they love sweet potato fries. So
Well,
definitely.
try it with if you use arrowroot, try it with arrowroot.
Yeah. Okay.
Arrowroot works the same as cornstarch.
Lovely. So listen, just carrying on. I mean, love your dishes. I really wish. I mean, I didn't see a dessert dish though. I didn't
Oh,
just let's
there
come
are
back and talk the real
there.
food. I mean, let's forget all that main course. Let's talk the real food, all right? Let's talk the real food here. Especially, I mean, Valentine's. I want to make a nice dessert for somebody. Give me an example of a dessert that I can make on a plant that would make someone's
Oh my
mouth
gosh.
water.
What about you love avocados, right?
Oh, I love avocados.
So avocado mousse, a chocolate mousse with
Oh, I
avocado.
love that.
All you need
I do that. I
is
do that with
so
cacao.
you know.
With
See,
cacao. Oh, yeah. I love
with
that.
cacao, maple syrup, a little
Oh,
bit of
forget
vanilla,
the.
and
Okay,
that's
well,
all.
you can have the maple syrup, not me. But go ahead. Go
You don't want maple syrup.
ahead. Ah, no, maple syrup, no
What
syrup,
do you do?
no
What do you
syrup.
put to sweeten it slightly? Because it's
Eh, eh,
cacao is quite bitter.
Yeah, if I sweeten, I'll sweeten it with some stevia, a little bit of
Oh, the
stevia,
stevia drop.
yeah, a little bit
Okay.
of stevia drop, a little bit of erythritol, or
Yeah,
powdered erythritol, really, not so much the granule because it was there, just powdered erythritol, but mainly just a few
yeah,
drops of stevia. When I do
yeah. I've
that,
got stevia. I haven't tried stevia in it, but I do love maple
it has
syrup.
a taste. Some people don't like the taste, but hey,
If you
you
use
know,
too much, it's an aftertaste. But if you're just doing a couple of drops, the
great.
cocoa will hide.
I
I
was
can
listening
see
to
that.
a
I can
great
taste it.
conversation on Clubhouse, even I think it was yesterday, and they were talking about allulose, and they said that's 1 for 1, and that's supposed to be a really great replacement sweetener that I can use, but it has
Hmm.
as close a taste as sugar, but we can't get it in this country. So if they're in
I've
America, they
heard of
can
it.
get
I haven't tried
allulose.
it. Yeah,
That's
I haven't
absolutely
tried that.
fantastic. Yeah. So listen, dessert. You had to mention dessert because I must admit I'm a dessert fan. So here
What
we have.
about oh, that
So
one is
what
oh,
I was trying to is it pesto sauce? I know it's not pesto sauce, but I thought it would
it
look like
is.
pesto sauce.
It is.
Is it
It's so
pesto sauce? Oh
it's
wow.
pesto. It's pesto. It's a wild
Oh okay.
garlic pesto. And you guys in the UK, I'm sure you can find it in the US, depending on where you are. You can forage wild garlic. I mean, obviously, make sure you look because there's another plant that looks just like wild garlic that's quite poisonous. But you can, they grow together anyway. So this is wild garlic pesto from some. I forage in my local woods, about
Okay.
10 minutes away from me, and it's just a bit of nut-based parmesan, olive oil, pine. I think I have pine nuts in this one. Pine nuts. It's really good. And it's got a really subtle garlicky flavor, so it's really nice to
And
add.
what would you eat this with? What would this accompany?
You know what? I put this on toast.
Okay.
I put it on pasta. You can like make a jar to just make up garlic,
Okay.
especially if
Yeah.
you love garlic pesto pasta. That's a
Okay.
really quick one. So
Okay.
and it's lasts ages in the fridge because it's oil based.
Lovely. The picture looks absolutely beautiful here. So I have no idea what this is. So
So
please.
that's when I was saying like I'm interested in this as well. So this is what you call a lacto fermentation happening. This is on the same that I made that it's a bit of carrot and beetroot. So as I was talking about, we know that
Hmm.
um the gut holds 80% of the immune system. So if you want to have a healthy gut, you can prevent certain diseases. So what you want to do is have probiotics in your diet daily. So this is one way of having it. You have sourdough, you've got yogurts, you've got
Hmm.
kimchi and all those kind of things. So what happens is you make a brine with not tap water. It has to be like spring water or
Okay.
mineral water. And you don't use table salt. You use either sea or kosher salt or what they call brine and salt. And you make a brine to then put any vegetable in it. Just make sure everything is sterile. And this takes about this was summertime, so this took about 5 days to ferment, and
So
then I just leave
you
it in the
leave it sitting for 5 days, yeah?
you leave it sitting, it'll start bubbling up a little bit. So it's
In the
covered in
fridge or
most.
outside of the fridge? It's something you have to
You leave
keep
it
cool?
outside the fridge
Okay.
initially. Yeah, the longer you leave it outside the fridge, the more sour it is. So you leave it outside the fridge with maybe a paper towel with a rubber band, because I was taking this one home. Or you can take off
Okay.
those mason jars. You can have the middle bit just with a paper towel or a cloth over it. So it just has time to breathe because it's going to gather the bacteria from the air and it's going to cancel out the bad bacteria and enhance the good bacteria that's good for the gut. So this is one type of fermentation that I love to do. And it's really easy, mad cheap, really good way to kind of almost like taking vitamins. You take
Yeah,
like a tablespoon of this every day.
absolutely.
Same as sauerkraut. Take a little bit every day. And with sauerkraut, you don't need to do the brine because You the leaf of the cucumbers as well. Cucumbers and a leaf of lettuce has that lactic acid already. So all you do is literally just massage. It's so fun. You just put the salt and massage, and all the water comes from the spinach. It's a really fun process.
It sounds
Fun to do with
fantastic.
children, guys.
And it's great that you're talking about gut microbiome, because we had Dr. Megan on last week, who's an
Yes,
absolute. I mean, words fail me. She was awesome. We had such
it's
great
amazing.
feedback, and
Yeah.
she was speaking about gut microbiome and gut health, and obviously this
Mhm.
contributes to your gut health. So how do you take this? How do you take this?
Well, I just have this when these ones I just have on the side of my dishes, or you can put it in your salads, your
As an
sandwiches.
accompaniment.
I
Okay.
literally, yeah, just have it as almost like a condiment on the side, the same way you use sauerkraut, same way you use sauerkraut, and
Okay.
it's just so
Just
tasty.
fermented
So,
food. Okay, great,
mhm.
lovely. Okay, so I think this, you mentioned this, Senna, but go on. I'm guessing is this a sprouted
Yeah, this is the
beans?
beginning. This is literally one day of the
Okay,
sprout. So this is a mung bean, which is my favorite, and you can literally use any bean. Once you have a sterilized container and like a mesh top or a paper towel for the top of the jar, what you do is you soak your bean the night before, just soak it in water, wash it and soak it. Then you drain the water the following day. And each morning and each evening, you're gonna rinse the bean, and that's why I have the mesh. So I can drain it each day. Each morning, I just rinse it, drain in the evening until it sprouts. So this sprout will actually fill up all the way to the top. This amount, this is literally like 2 tablespoons, and it's already swollen up to half a jar. It'll fill up to the top of the jar, and I'll add that into my salad. And as you see, I had it on top of my sourdough, and this has such a beautiful nutty taste. Jam packed. It's like having, as I said, a little bit of this is your homemade vitamins, guys. So I would encourage anyone that can't grow outside, try to do this on your countertop. This in a summertime will take about 3 days. Wintertime,
okay,
because it's colder, would take about 5 days. But just
that's not
watch
too
it.
long. Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm.
And what is this good for? What is this?
This is Yeah, so you get like when you sprout, you enhance, just like with fermentation, you enhance the vitamins and the nutrients of that vitamin C. Or you get your extra vitamin C and all those kind of things that's good for your body. So whatever that particular vitamin the bean has, the B
Great.
vitamins and what have you.
Great, fantastic. So I think this is one of the last pictures we're coming to at the moment. I know you mentioned about your garden, you like to grow, but I don't know if it's a picture. But these look huge. I'm sure it's a picture.
They're
Uh,
massive.
but are they actually big? Because I just thought, I
They
wonder if you blew up.
are.
What?
Man,
eh,
it
eh,
was hard to take those home.
so
It
go on,
was hard
take
to
us
take those home.
talk us through this. Talk us through this
So
picture.
we live in
And
the UK,
yeah,
and you know what? There's a belief. Oh, you can't grow anything. This is what I grew. This is actually one of my. This is year before last. One of my best crops of pumpkin, and I got about 8. You can get way more, but I have a small space in my allotment, and I did 3 different types of pumpkins. As you can see, that grayish one, the dark green, and the lighter green ones are delicious. And you know what? These store really well over winter for months and months. So these are things you can prepare yourself for the year, and you kind of put them away. And I grow lots of things like Swiss chard and spinach, and those are perennials. They come back year after year. They're frost we call it frost tolerant. That's it. There's things like I know a lot of them grow in America called tree colored, where you get those
yeah,
big green leaves. It's like a mix between a kale and a cabbage, but it grows into a 15-foot tree. So there's lots of things that you can grow. You can grow them in containers. But I would always encourage people, if you have a little space outside or a balcony space, try to grow your as
grow them
much
out.
greens
Yeah.
as you
Okay, fantastic. I mean, that is absolutely wonderful. So
can.
you have green fingers then. You
I
actually.
do. I
Wow.
love to grow, and I just try. And you know what? I just listen to the elders. I learn as I go. There's lots of elders in the allotment that's been there for 40 years plus, and I've
Yeah.
just been. I started growing,
Yeah.
learning from then, and I did a little horticulture, so incorporating all my interests.
It reminds me when my granddad was alive and he used to take me down the allotment on a Sunday. And he
Hmm.
said something so profound that I use it even in my training. He used to dig the soil. So he said, and I say to Granddad, why do you keep working the soil? Why do you keep working the soil? Because he never used to plant for a while, turn the soil. And he just said to me, son, listen, see this soil, this is a foundation. And the more fertile I make the soil, the more effectively things will grow. And I kind of equated that to life and your mind.
Hmm.
Yeah?
Hmm.
The more
With
fertile
everything.
you make your mind, the more you're
Hmm.
able to receive. I love that. So that was a lesson. And I
Yeah.
remember the allotment in the boots and everything in the winter and the summer and the wet. So that, and it's quite therapeutic having allotment as well. It must be
Oh,
just
definitely.
being there and being in there. So I am a family member. I'm a family. I've got a family of, you know, 2 or 3 children, or even 1 children. How have you found children receiving a plant-based diet?
Do you know what? It's tough. My eldest two aren't plant-based at all. Because that's what they were used to a certain diet. So I can't, they're 20 and 16. So they, whatever they eat when they're outside, they eat when they're outside. And I don't I leave them to kind of make that choice for themselves. For the younger ones, obviously I've got 2-year-old, 4-year-old, and a how old is he's 12-year-old. So they will just eat whatever I cook. I do have one picky eater though. My 4-year-old is a very picky eater, but I was a picky eater as a child. So she's just has a certain things during the day, but she has enough to maintain her and balance her diet. So yeah, it's difficult when you start them out on like a meat diet to try to switch it over. So I don't pressure my children. When they go to the family homes, they eat whatever they want to eat. When they're here, I only buy certain products. I only cook certain things, and they eat that too. So I think it's good to have an open mind.
Yeah, I mean they love things with sugar in it. And we're gonna play a game in a minute called Sugar Smash, and
Oh,
we're gonna encourage the audience to get involved. I'm not even sure if they can get someone to get involved today because of the setup today, but I am gonna try and get you involved, and you're gonna have to
oh,
answer. So it's gonna be between me and you. All right.
okay, let's do it.
But here's the question before we go there. What is the difference between being plant based and vegan?
Well, okay, vegan is more of a philosophy to life, isn't it? It's a way of living where you don't, I guess, have any type of animal products. You don't use anything to do with animals. Like you won't have leather shoes, for instance. You won't drink honey. Your ethos is really to save the planet, be empathetic towards animals and their life and to the environment. And then what a plant-based is more around eating for health. It's eating for health. And I don't disagree with the veganism. I just don't put myself in that category. So yeah, plant-based is just eating for health. So you have plant-based generally, it's a healthier, it's just focused on healthy alternatives to animal products.
So, because obviously, I suppose some people would be confused to say a plant based is a vegan kind of way of life.
Yeah. It depends on where you are. So like when I was visiting Jamaica in the summertime, because there wasn't an understanding around plant-based, I'll often say ITIL, let me have an ITIL plate, or I'll say a vegan plate because that's what is understood. If I said plant based, like, where I talk about, you mean vegan, but for me, it's more vegan. Veganism is more of a lifestyle. I still have leather shoes. I still have things that, not that I'm continuing to buy them, but it's just stuff that I have that I'm like, I'm not going to throw this out because I've now changed my diet, where a vegan might not wear that particularly. They are very strict in the way they see animals are used, and yeah, very much about saving the planet as well and not using anything to do with animals.
Well, I mean, you look very well on a plant based diet, and I'm sure people who are watching this will be encouraged about how they can, adopt a plant based diet. So I have this set up. We're going to play this game called Sugar Smash because my whole thing is about people reducing sugar. And
Yeah.
sugar comes in different ways. So we haven't had the setup recently to do this, but we're going to try it. I have got the chat on my phone. So you in the audience, or the viewers, I should say, watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, you can get involved because, yeah, I said Prophetess said I to be good. You can get involved because the messages will come up on my phone. All right. So here we go. So this, let me just take you through this little. Let's see if
Let's
how.
see.
Are you ready?
Woo!
Listen, this
Let's
you
do
got a
it. Let's
chart.
do it.
Let's let yeah. Okay, all right. Here we go. Here we go on this. All right. So this is called Sugar Smash. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole coaching is about allowing people to understand how much sugar is in food. All right.
Okay.
So on average, we have about 1 teaspoon of sugar in our blood, maybe one and a half, which equals about 4 grams. So
Mm-hmm.
in this here, every teaspoon equals about 4 grams. All right. So I like to let people know that everything turns to sugar you eat, some form. Fruit turns into fructose, and the rest of the stuff, rice and bread, turns into glucose, and they affect your body. And through my nutrition protocol, that is why people put on weight in its simplistic term. So I try to get people to avoid or reduce the amount of sugar they eat, because often people don't realize how much sugar is in food. They see sugar as table sugar, how much they add, but they don't realize that when they eat a bread or rice, it actually turns to sugar. All right. So I have 3 foods here from the island of Jamaica. Well, not Jamaica, they're Caribbean, and foods that you may eat. So I'm just a messenger. So I'm just gonna you're gonna have to guess how much net carbs are in it. How many teaspoons of sugar in this dumpling? But because I'm a nice guy, I kind of give you a little bit of a clue. So we have A, 17.5, B, 22.5, or C, 25.5. And listen, you can get involved in this. Anyone watching on YouTube can guess even on anywhere you're watching, any platform, you can put in the chat whether you think it's A, B, or C. So listen, we're talking about, do you remember I said teaspoon, each teaspoon equals around about 4 grams of sugar. So how many teaspoons are in this 230 grams worth of dumpling? So we have an answer ready. So we have B. Oh, we have 2 people with B. We have Jackie Jackie's coming in with C. We have Wanda with C. Come on, so where you going, Annika? We going A, B, or C?
We don't put.
No.
Festival?
Well, if you add sugar, but we're talking about the carbohydrates and the flour itself turns.
Okay,
as you said. So which one are you going to go with? Because we're getting some answers in. We're getting B, C.
Let me go B.
You're going B. Okay, you're going B. So let's see. B's proving quite popular. Okay, so let's smash this and see exactly how many teaspoons. You saying B? Okay, here we go. We're going to smash up these 2 dumplings. And let's just see. Oh, wow. Look at that. 22.5. Well done. For everybody who said B. Yeah. For everybody who didn't say B. Yeah. Well, that's what it should have been. Absolutely fantastic. Wow. That's absolutely wonderful. Listen, great. So that just shows you in these 2 dumplings, there are how many teaspoons of sugar? Look how many teaspoons of sugar there are inside there. 22.5 teaspoons. On average, when you convert it. I mean, this is the way we use to be able to show people how much sugar is in their food. All right. So that was absolutely great. Well done, everybody. We're going to have one more. This is a 200-gram plate of rice and peas. So this is the options. A, 5 teaspoons. B, 7 teaspoons. And C, 9 spoons. Come on, guys, on the chat. Let's get guessing. Is it A, B, or C? While Annika works out if she can get 2 out of 2. So here we go. So is it A, B, or C? So we're talking about teaspoons of sugar. Is it 5 teaspoons in that plate? 7 teaspoons? Or 9 teaspoons. So we've got our first guess now. Clinton has said C. Prophetess has said A. Yeah, we're getting it in. We're there. C, A, and C. You're thinking? You're thinking? Okay. We have Jackie's coming with C. So it looks like C's ahead at the moment. You going with C?
Yeah, I'm going with C.
Yeah. Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Oh, final answer. Yes. Okay. Here we go. So let's just smash this 200 grams worth of rice and just see how much sugar inside. Obviously, it's in the form of glucose. All right. Let's smash it up and let's see where we're going with this one. And it is 5 teaspoons. So that's A. And I think it's only Prophetess got that one right. Well done, Prophetess. Let me give you a celebratory round of applause, Prophetess. Well done. Everyone else said B and C. And between me and you, it's 1-1, Annika. So this is deciding, because this is personal between me and you. There's always 3. Man. If you've got 2 out of 3 so far, let's see how you're going to get on with this last one, all right? Okay, it's a game. Don't feel too hard. Hey, here we go. This is a dish I love. Remember I said ackee and saltfish. So these are the options. A, 1 teaspoon. B, 2.5 teaspoons. Or C, 4 teaspoons. Let's have your answer. And Jackie, I know you've just cooked your rice and peas, but hey, enjoy it, man. It's Valentine's Sunday. So let's have those answers in. What, Annika, see if she can get this one right. Is it A, B, or C? All right. So we have Prophetess coming in with A. Wow, she's got 2 out of 3 so far. 2 out of 3 so far. And she's doing well. And okay, DJ Mr. P's not doing too well today. He used to do well when I used to do this on a Wednesday. So is it A, B, or C? So you're going for A? You're sure? Is that your final answer on this one, Annika? Is that your final?
Yes. Yes.
You're sure?
Sure.
You don't want to go for B. You don't want to go for B. Okay, we have A. A's doing so well. Are you sticking with A for your final answer?
This means if you get
oh good, that's it. Stick with A. So let's smash this plate of ackee and saltfish and let's see if you are going to be victorious today. And it is well done. Listen, 2-1. That's it. Well done to you. Let me give you a round of applause there. And then also, let me give everybody who said A also a round of applause. It's absolutely wonderful. And let me actually single out Prophetess because Prophetess got every single one of them right. Well done. Yeah, you done very well. I don't know. I don't know if you knew the answers, but when I was doing the research, I didn't know all these answers. But great. Well done. So, here we have, it is just a little game that I play with people, just so people can understand the amount of sugar that's in their food in the form of glucose or possibly in the form of fructose. You decide what you want to do, but we must understand, just like on your nutrition protocol, that the food we eat dictates so many things. It dictates our gut microbiome, it dictates our weight, and it also dictates how much our blood sugar rises, which then can lead to obesity and diabetes. So on my nutrition protocol, all I do is I show people and then they make their decision. You know, I think there are so many foods that we can eat, all right, but without the starch. So that is the game there. So thank you, everybody. I think Mr. P is a sore loser today. I think he's cheat. He's saying someone cheating. He could be a sore loser. So listen, and I just want to share something with you. Though this is what I eat. A lot of people say what do I eat if I can't eat the rice and peas? Well, I eat cauliflower rice. I'm actually going to eat it today. Look, this is how much in cauliflower rice. 1 teaspoon in a bowl of cauliflower rice. So if you was to eat the ackee and saltfish with the cauliflower rice, that would be an incredibly low sugar meal, and it absolutely tastes wonderful. So I'll be doing this every single week on here. Now we've got the tech up and running, but you won 2-1. Well done. Well done. That one. Let me just share with everybody here is if you like what you heard about the food, I mean, it's definitely we're going to speak with Annika about how you can contact her. But if eating a reduced sugar diet appeals to you, then you can go to my website, the leanmindbodymethod.com, and you can download, it says at the top, a free meal plan, and you can download a free 5-day meal plan. All right? And that 3-day and 5-day meal plan, it has leftovers, it has cooking guides, it has shopping lists, it even has 2 Caribbean dishes, which is, you can see there, one's jerk chicken with my own jerk sauce. I actually made that jerk sauce today because I'm going to make some jerk lamb. Yeah, so I made that jerk, and it has curry salmon and other dishes. So you can go to my website, the leanmindbodycoach.com or the Lean Mind Body Method, any one of the websites there, and you can download that absolutely free of charge. Listen, just want to say, before we come to the end of the show, because we've got a little bit of time left, listen, if you're watching this on YouTube, just subscribe. Hit the like on this video and just subscribe to the channel, because we'll be here every single week and we've got some exciting things happening this year. So if you're watching us YouTube, just subscribe. And also, if you are watching it on Facebook or anywhere, just like this video and share it, because I think there's some fantastic information that's been shared with from Annika just now. So really do appreciate that. And there are some exciting things that I'm going to announce over the next coming weeks that I'm involved with. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. So on this first Sugar Smash, I mean, I'm going to have to mark myself down one. But hey, you know what? At least the food matched with your earrings. So Annika, fantastic. Listen, absolutely wonderful. I mean, I think the
Thank you,
information you
Ken.
shared is so absolutely wonderful. 3 tips. I'm starting, I've been inspired by this show, and I'm thinking about starting a plant-based diet. Give me 3 tips. Give the audience 3
First thing
tips.
to first thing to do is to do your own research. Don't just believe me. Don't just believe Ken. Do your own research first on a plant-based diet. Also, I would always say to people, investigate your blood type and see. I love the Eat for Your Blood Type book and see what your blood type and what types of proteins your blood type likes to um, 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 process. And then 3, I would say follow as many people as you can. There's also a wealth of information on Instagram, YouTube, and I'm now discovering the Clubhouse. You can speak to lots of nutritionists, plant-based or not non-plant-based, holistic chefs, and you can get some a wealth of free advice actually through joining some of those conversations. So those are the 3 tips I would say straight away without even going to the obvious like recipes. If you want recipes, things like that, you can just send me a message or
So how
other
do they
people.
contact you, Annika? How can they contact you?
You can contact me on the Facebook, Instagram at Nika's Nikas Kitchen, on Twitter.
Just
I'm
repeat
also
that
now on
Instagram again,
Clubhouse.
please. Just
Nika,
just fun,
Nik
say, yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
Nikas Kitchen all
Yes.
together, and I'll come up.
And how about Facebook?
Same Nika's Kitchen on Facebook. Sorry,
Yeah, no,
my
that's fine. That's fine. These are like the outtakes on television where the children just pop up. Ah, don't worry about it. That's lovely. That's lovely. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Is it a boy, girl?
It's a girl, Nia.
Ah, Nia. Hi, Nia.
Nia.
Hi,
Say
Nia.
hi. They're saying hello to you. You love it. I love it. It's beautiful.
Hello. Yeah, that's
She hasn't had
absolutely
my attention for about an hour.
fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Listen, Annika, so they can contact you on Facebook and they can contact you on Instagram. Your Instagram profile looks really, really great. Some great
Thank
recipes.
you.
And do you do coaching? Do you do plant-based coaching as well?
You know what? Not at the moment. It's something my husband's been pushing me towards. So I'm building on that, and I'm going to start doing some lives actually. This is my
Okay,
first live. Thank you,
great.
Ken, for inviting me, and I've kind of
Great
gone into
stuff.
my
I'm
first.
there.
Doing my first, a few first this week, and I'm doing a live cooking session on Thursday
Okay,
with plant-based nutrition. They're doing a series of lives, so I'm actually thinking about that. Just gonna kind of
great.
pick up my game a bit. I've got a few online courses I need to finish, and I've kind of
Yeah,
built up my confidence to
good,
create something
good.
meaningful.
Well, if you ever need any advice about how to structure a coaching program, then definitely I
I'll
can help you
definitely hit
with
you up.
that. All right.
Definitely.
Listen, Annika, thank you so much today. You've been absolutely awesome and fun, and you beat me in the Sugar Smash. What can I say? It's been wonderful having you here on the Make Health Your Habit podcast live show. You have added so much value. You have just normalized and made eating plant based just seem so wonderful. And plus, you're from Jamaica as well. So all those people who think they have to eat all this hard food, they can think, well, no, you can be Jamaican and be plant based, or from the Caribbean, anybody,
Definitely.
and eat that. So listen, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you just hold on 1 minute in the green room, and I'll be
Mhm.
with you, and let me just say
Okay.
goodbye to all these wonderful people inside. Is that okay? Thank
Yes.
you
Yes.
again. You
Thank
have
you,
been
everyone.
absolutely awesome. We appreciate you, Annika. I'll be with you in a moment. All right.
You
So
guys.
there you have it. You know how to live a plant-based life. And wasn't Annika brilliant? I thought she was absolutely wonderful and such a warm personality, something you could really endear to. So I hope she does coaching because I think she'd do incredibly well. And let me apologize to DJ Mr. P because he just messaged said he got 2 out of 3 right. All right, you got 2 out of 3 right. Yeah, still. But I saw some contention in the chat there. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I will be here every single week with this show. We got a great show lined up for you next week and the week after. Something you're going to be very, very interested in. So I won't tell you now. It'll be advertised. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube again, just like this video. subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching from Facebook, like the video, make a comment. Even if you make a comment on YouTube, that helps with everything. And yes, if you make any comments, I will respond, and Annika will see that and she will respond as well. So I really hope today's show has added value to you. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, if you look, there's my website there, theleanmindbodycoach.com, if you want to go and find out about the recipes that I do. But today was about Annika and her plant-based recipes. Look, you could have been doing so many things on this Sunday afternoon, yes, but you chose to be here, even if you are cooking your rice and peas or whatever while you're watching this show. So I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Each and every week I will be here with a topic that helps you to make health your habit, because there's no other habit that you could develop than to make health your habit. Listen, guys, you have a wonderful Sunday. Bye for now. Yep, I should have said bye for now. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yes.
That was cool.